Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Clay. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. So, I'm sure by now you have heard the news that the countersuit that Justin Baldoni had against Blake Lively has been dismissed by the judge today. And some people I'm seeing mixed commentary. Some people say that they weren't surprised. Some people are surprised and are obviously disappointed. I think that this is a big day when it comes to the legal world because, honestly, in my opinion, it kind of lets you know that you can make up frivolous claims and trash somebody's name simply because you feel like it and get away with it. Blake Lively, for a fact, okay, in the court of public opinion, the large majority see this woman as a liar and someone who misrepresented what took place on that set in a lawsuit for whatever reason. Maybe we'll never know now whether, she had a crush on Justin Baldoni and it's some type of scorned lover type of situation, or if it's more business minded where they wanted to take over the movie for the rights of the next sequel, or they wanted a producer credit. Who knows? Maybe we'll never know at this point because that would have all came out in the case. So I'm sure that Blake and Ryan are in their Tribeca apartment very pleased with themselves today, having a little shindig or whatever. But all of this was done at what cost? Because does that mean that your relationship with Taylor Swift, the biggest pop star, is going to be back on track just like that after she wouldn't support Blake in the media? I still think that relationship is going to be tarnished. We've now all seen the videos, interviews, and everything else that's been dug up about you since this lawsuit has been out, and a large majority of people are not feeling Blake Lively. Also, a lot of her peers in the industry are not feeling Blake Lively because a lot of people do feel as if she made up this whole scenario with the SH and the toxic workplace environment and it's just not true. It's not true. Putting all the dots together, everything that's come out, there has been no time where I'm like, okay, I believe Blake Lively. It's just, Anyway, we do know that the justice system at times does get things wrong. And there are people sitting in jail wrongfully accused. There are people who should have had to pay for bringing this whole scenario to the world for no fucking reason. None at all. So this is just showing Blake that she can do shit like this and get away with it. It's also showing other women like Blake Lively and even men that they can do shit like this and get away with it. I think it's a poor example. I think that Blake Lively has still ruined her reputation. I really don't see her being a bankable actress in the industry anymore, but we'll see how it goes. Let's read this article. And then just Blake working with other directors. She's a risk now. Why would you want to work with her and have her on your set because she's gotten away with doing this to Justin? Who's to say she can't pull some shit like this again? I don't think Blake is going to be in anything for a while. But given that I do think she's a lot of bit of a narcissist, she probably might try to get right back into things, get another project, somebody's going to give it to her, and act like none of this happened, which I guess would be the best course of action because people have short attention spans and we forget quickly. So within a year or two from now, all of this could be forgotten while Justin Baldoni is still having to recover and his family is still having to recover because this is fucked up. And it's even more fucked up because she's trying to make it seem like she's this women's champion, like she's doing this for women's right, for standing up for women. And it's like, that is not what you're doing. That's not what you did. That's not what you were trying to do. This is all a selfish act, okay? So before the article, she posted this on her IG story, crediting, I guess, her team. It says, last week, I stood proudly along 19 organizations united in defending women's rights to speak up for their safety. She reminds me so much of Amber Heard. It's kind of crazy. Like so many others, I felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit. There would never have been a retaliatory lawsuit if you would have left well enough alone. Like, none of this had to happen if you didn't start it. Including the manufactured shame that tries to break us. There's no manufactured shame. A lot of people are seeing you for what you are. I'm not paid at all to talk about this shit. And there's a lot of people online saying the same exact thing that do not agree with you, Blake, at all. This shit is not manufactured. It's not a smear campaign. We're not bots. We're not any of that. Ugh, it's infuriating because it's the same thing Amber Heard said. Oh my God, it's bots. All this public shaming online. No, it was people who were seeing through the utter bullshit and had to say something. Because not everyone is living in your little delusional world. This is crazy. Like so many others, I felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit, including the manufactured shame that tries to break us. While the suit against me was defeated, so many... She's such a fucking bitch. I'm so sorry. Just the way this is worded is irking my nerves. I can only imagine how Justin is feeling. Like, oh my goodness. But at least he has a good support system. His wife beside him. His kids. This is just... It's disappointing. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's right to have a voice. Please don't stand for me. And protecting themselves, including their safety, their integrity, their dignity, and their story. Wow. There are protections out there. Check some of the incredible organizations below for resources and information. With love and gratitude for the many who stood beside me. Clear. Cat just like jumped on top of my computer. For the many who stood beside me, many of you I know, many of you I don't, but I will never stop appreciating or advocating for you. And then she adds a bunch of people who I guess are on her legal team, her whatever. People who are association to the lie. So, I don't even really want to get deep into this article because it's just going to tick me off, but I guess we can get into the main points of what's happening here. Let's see. Let's do TMZ. So it says, Justin Baldoni loses legal war with Blake. His lawsuits are dismissed. Justin Baldoni just lost big in his legal war with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, because all his claims against them have been dismissed. A judge threw out the lawsuit filed by Baldoni and his Wayfair production company Monday, according to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, dealing a huge blow to the Baldoni camp. As you know, Justin Wayfair are suing Blake and Ryan for $400 million, It's giving the backstory, so... Excuse me. Then it says, the judge based his opinion on the findings that Lively had included her allegations in a civil rights complaint, and therefore she should not be held liable for the claims. So you could just say shit. Wow. So because she didn't... Wow. And the New York Times fairly relied upon the complaint as a basis to their story. So because it was a civil complaint and I guess not like a criminal complaint or whatever, this can't be held liable. I'm not into the legal jargon or the legal world like that, but that's what I'm gathering, that because this wasn't filed in another way, it was just a civil complaint, then she's not liable for these claims that she literally put out into the public to smear him originally. And because she got smeared back, because people started seeing what she was providing as proof to her smear, all of a sudden it was an issue. This is infuriating. Like, I can't imagine how frustrating it would be for Justin and his team. So she's not being held liable for the claims, for the things and the words that came out of her mouth that caused him to lose money and gigs and projects and everything else, awards and whatnot. She doesn't have to pay for that at all. How does a judge think that that is appropriate and smart? And how many other people are going to end up doing the same thing and just saying shit about people and getting away with it because, oh, we're doing a civil complaint, so now I can't be held liable in court? Do we know how many civil complaints are about to go out? This is so dumb. So, where else? Said something else. Blake's claims against Justin are still intact. Baldoni has filed a motion to dismiss those as well, but the judge has not ruled yet. He'll probably let it go, meaning he'll probably go forward with it to try to further fuck with him. You know, the way things are going, rich people can do things, you know, they can make things happen. You can take over countries and elections if you have enough money. You can buy off judges if you have enough money. Money can do a lot for you. I'm not saying anything, I'm not implying anything, but when you have money, you can make things move. The judge based his opinion on the findings that Lively had including her actions in a civil rights complaint. Okay, we said all that. Baldoni had said the Times cherry-picked certain text messages and emails to frame him as the bad guy, but the court said the Times reporting closely tracked Blake's version of events in her complaint. So because it's just a civil complaint and the New York Times used that civil complaint that can't be held liable, none of this fucking shit matters. So this is all on a technicality, basically. This is all on technicality. She paid good money for those lawyers. Whoever figured this shit out. Damn, Brian Friedman. I wonder how he's feeling. The judge ruled the Times reviewed the available evidence and reported, perhaps in a dramatized manner, what it believed to have happened. The Times had no obvious motive to favor Lively's versions of events. So I kind of get that in a way because the Times was just going based off of what Lively had provided. So the onus is on Blake for bringing bullshit to the Times. But none of this is liable because it was just a civil complaint. Wow. Crazy. As for Reynolds, you'll recall Baldoni accused Ryan Reynolds of falsely labeling Baldoni a sexual predator, but the judge found that this statement was also consistent with Blake's allegations in her complaint. Wow, so you can just say that, but because it's in a civil complaint, you can't be held liable. You could say something, one of the worst things to be called, and nothing can be done about it because it's in a civil complaint. I don't know how this is going to turn out because there are people who are just out there looking to take other people who have money, take their money. This is going to be karma. Blake's going to get her karma. This is not good. It sets a precedent, a very bad precedent. Wow. So because it was in the complaint and Reynolds had no reason to believe they were untrue, the judge said the comment couldn't form the basis of a defamation claim. So you can just say things, even though there's no proof of it, right to the public, cause people to lose their job and livelihood, and it's all good. Because that makes sense. The lawyers are saying today's opinion is a total victory and complete vindication. It's really not. It's the furthest thing from a complete vindication. Yes, it was dismissed. Yes, it fucking sucks. But Blake, you're still a bitch. Like, you still lied, in my opinion. So, I know I'm nobody, but there's other people out there that still feel like you lied. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Blake and Ryan recover from this, how they move, how Justin moves with all of this, what his next steps are legally, if any. Do you just put all this to bed and fade into the sunlight and do things behind the scenes and don't be on camera? You know, he still has the billionaire friend, and I'm sure he can give him work somewhere, somehow, and this just sucks, though. So, that's the news, y'all. Yet again, a rich person gets away with shit that they very well shouldn't. Tale as old as time.